Hi, I'm CJ Almberg with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Fredrick, Colorado. We've got a brand new 2025 Cimarron Norstar 3-horse bumper pull sitting behind us. This is a great either trailer that maybe need to haul 2 to 3 head. You want to haul with a larger SUV, half-ton pickup, something like that. Or even if you're looking for a nice little runaround, maybe you've got a living quarters that you don't want to drag to maybe vet appointments, horse shoeing appointments, local events, something along those lines. This is a great little trailer for those type of setups. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the drawing on this one. I'll show you some specs on it. We are, again, a 3-horse Cimarron. Front tack room on this one, we're 18.9 on the floor. We're 7'1" tall, that's standard height, and we're 6'10" wide standard width. Like I mentioned, smaller SUVs or, half-ton pickups, this trailer empty sits at 3,300 pounds. About 3,330 is where it ends up. But that's the empty weight on it. Again, you can throw 3 head of horses on here. Front tack room, really good setup. All aluminum construction from Cimarron. We'll walk you through some of the features on this and items we went ahead and put on this for options for you, but then also talk about the standard options from Cimarron. So very first and foremost, you're going to get an 8-year structure warranty, 3-year hardware warranty, 1-year no questions asked warranty on your tires. Even if you have a blowout, catch a nail, something along those lines, they'll stand behind it for a year. So really nice to have that behind you as well when you're making this type of a purchase. So when we walk up to it, I mentioned 18.9. That does not include the tongue. You're going to add another 3 foot there. But what you're going to get is you're going to get a manual crank, single leg jack, a little bit taller foot on this one. And the reason why is these trucks continue to get taller. So one of the things we really notice when people come to pick up these trailers, usually we have to block them, but with that taller actual leg to that foot that we have on there, it makes it a lot simpler getting them on and off trucks. A 2 5/16 coupler, so you will need a 2 5/16 ball. Look, if you get into a scenario where you go, hey, I'm not really sure what drop height I need, a lot of times if you make this purchase, you can come to our lot. Our parts department will have different drops, 2-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch drops. They've even got those cool B&W adjustable bumper pull hitches. That's what I use, and it's fantastic because I know on my flatbed at home I've got to get it up a little bit higher. When I hook onto this trailer, I need to drop it down a little bit. So it's nice to have that flexibility instead of rather going, okay, now I got to flip this one out for this drop. Those adjustable ones are really nice, but again, our parts department can help you out there. Okay, you're gonna have the diamond plate guard on the front of this nose, and then you're gonna get the stainless sheeted nose on this guy as well. This one's white sheeted. White is standard. If you want to go to some of the popular options or charcoal metallic, silver metallic, black, there's an upcharge on those. Custom colors can be done. Graphics can be done too. We don't really put a lot of graphics on our trailers, and the reason why is, if we put red graphics on here and you pull in with a blue pickup, you might deter you from buying this trailer. But we have a sister company, Mammoth Graphics, that can design, do the graphics for you, and maybe make it match the color of your pickup, a certain design you want. Maybe even you're pulling this with a motorhome and you want to tie into that color option, that's an option for you as well. But there's a lot of customization that can be done to these trailers when we're building them and then even after the fact. So let's take a look at the front tack room here. You're going to notice big door. This is a 42-inch wide door. I'm going to show you why this is so important here in a minute. But nice big opening there, brush tray on the door, throw some smaller miscellaneous items. If you want to add more brush trays, you can. If you want to do a door organizer, that's kind of a blank canvas for you right there. With that, you're going to have the fold-up step on all of our inventory trailers going into the tack areas especially. We love these fold-up steps. It's a big step into this trailer from ground level, so that fold-up step breaks it in about half, makes that transition so much easier when you're maybe carrying saddles, totes, those type of items, just getting in and out of the tack room so easily. Now, the 42-inch wide door comes into play with a swing-out saddle rack, which we have here. You're going to notice 2 blanket poles up top, 3 saddle rack pads. But what I want you to notice is this thing gets to this door frame. Look at where the blanket poles are, but then also look at where the saddle pads are. Imagine a big saddle on here. So 42 inches wide versus a lot of our competitors that run a 36. As you can imagine, cutting 6 inches off this door, now we've got, you know, probably saddles dragging on this door frame. We don't want that. The other thing is on those, when the saddle rack's out, you can't get in the tack room. As you can see, this 42-inch wide door, I can still get in and out of this tack room by having that larger door. What's cool about these as well is these are all adjustable. So if I want to change some sequencing on this, some spacing, maybe I don't need the blanket poles, maybe I want to go with another saddle pad, maybe I want to get one of the 4-tier blanket poles, racks actually go in the door, you can do that. But these are all adjustable, so you have a lot of flexibility on these guys. And then you can grab a hold of your saddles right out there on ground level. On our partition wall, you're gonna have a set of bridle hooks. These are aluminum powder coated, so these guys are really stout. These are designed by Cimarron, so they're really tall, got good depth off the actual wall itself, and then good spacing between them. A lot of, you know, you think about it, you open up a lot of trailers we look at on trade, I get pictures of them. You'll notice a lot of their, you know, head stalls and reins and lead ropes and halter, everything's fallen off because they're usually smaller, but these have got some good spacing and good depth to them. And again, they're really strong. The other thing is you're going to get the carpet behind it, so we're not actually having that stuff, you know, actually rub up against the aluminum sheets in transit. We'll always notice that when we get those trailers in on trade and everything gets cleaned out. You'll notice those kind of like half moon marks on the wall because of everything scraping against that aluminum. So we don't want to do that. That protects it. It also deadens that noise as you're traveling for the horses on the other side. Back behind me is going to be the spare tire. There's a lot of floor space in here too once you get in here. One other item up on the ceiling is going to be a clothes bar, which this is fantastic because look, if you're showing off of this, you need to come in, change into a show shirt, something along those lines, it can be in here. When you're traveling, it's not taking up a bunch of space with your hanging clothes in the tow vehicle. Now you've got a spot for them up and out of this way, but again, there's a lot of space in this tack room. And one of the last pieces is actually going to be a corner water tank. This is kind of our staple of about every inventory piece we have. We try to kind of put one of these on there. It's a 25-gallon gravity feed, so fill at the top, empty at the bottom, the stand so you can put buckets underneath it, but you also get a hose. You can put a ball valve and just go ahead and fill your buckets up outside, and then you're not having to tote those buckets in and out of the tack room. But this is so handy when you're traveling in hot summer months. You have a horse that only likes water from home. More importantly, when you get to an event, hydrants, you don't even know where it's at. It's a long ways away. Instead of toting buckets around, you've got water right here at the trailer for you. So that fold-up step is very easy to operate. Just flip up, it's on a gas shock, and it's up out of the way. But it makes a big difference, again, transitioning in and out of that tack room. Now, here's a really cool feature that's been added to this. You're gonna notice the drop windows. So instead of bus windows, standard, we opted for the drop-down windows on this version here. We have the twin to this trailer sitting here on the lot. I believe Luke just videoed it yesterday. It had the bus windows, where this one has the drops. So if you're wanting a little bit more airflow in these, this is a good option here. It just creates such a bigger opening by having those drops rather than the bus windows. The bus windows are even larger than the ones you see in this framework on the other trailer, but again, a lot more airflow in that. You do have the bus windows within the framework, so you do have, if you want to put these guys up and just have a little bit less airflow, you can do that. You're going to have your 16-inch awning light up top there, so it shoots down and out, gives you a lot of light coverage on this trailer. It's nice to have some exterior lights actually out here for you. And then what you got is we have the aluminum wheels. These are the black with silver accents. So it just gives you a good look to this. It really blends in well, I think, with the extrusion on the side of the trailer, but then also, you know, the black framework and the windows, I think it really ties together. These black wheels have been so popular over the years, but a 16-inch wheel there. This is where those tires come into play. Again, a 1-year, no questions asked warranty on those guys. So again, you catch a nail that can't be patched, road debris, a blowout, they'll stand behind it for a year for you, no questions asked. Now that's through Lion's Head, that's not through Cimarron, that's the vendor they use. So we won't go through Cimarron with that, but we'll go through their vendor Lion's Head on that aspect of the warranty. So stall area, here's a good look. Since this one's standard width, 6'10" wide, I mentioned that earlier, you're gonna get a 60/40 setup on the rear doors. Our right-hand door, as we're looking at it, it's gonna be a little bit larger. You got a bus window in that one as well. So again, you can create a vacuum and really get a lot of airflow throughout this trailer by all these drop windows, bus windows, and then roof vents that we'll show you here in a minute. But in this setup here, maybe your horse prefers a rear ramp load. All ramps, you know, we can go ahead and add these to it. We just remove this rubber bumper here. It welds to it and there'll be a ramp over. So it goes over these back doors. So what's also fantastic about that is if it needs to be a dual purpose trailer, haul horses, but haul some toys, that ramp comes into play there. But again, those are some items that we can add after the fact to these trailers when we have them here. So as we get in the stall area, you're going to notice solid dividers with pads. First divider is going to be a stud divider. So a full divider there. We're kind of tipped towards the passenger side right now, but they've got big springs on them. Just because of the added weight with the stud divider, this guy here is going to kind of want to creep in on us a little bit. You get it on good flat surface, it'll want to hold over to this other side. But boy, having this stud divider is really nice because I mentioned, hey, maybe you're only hauling 2 head of horses and you want to use this first stall. Maybe you do have somebody that needs to be separated, or it's just storage. You can put items in this stall. We don't have to worry about them shifting, getting underneath horses as we travel because of the stud divider. It goes clear to the floor there. But again, just giving you some flexibility. These are slam latches as well, so they're really easy to operate. We don't have to hold the divider in place to find a pin and drop it in. It just locks in. There's this heavy UHMW plastic paddle latch, aluminum powder coated, recessed piece that goes around it itself. We don't have that metal to metal contact, so it's not creating a lot of noise for the horses either, rattling around. But boy, just opening and releasing makes it so much easier. Everything has a smooth radius in these guys. You touch everywhere on these trailers, and they try to come up with, you know, horse safety first and foremost. That's why even this cast piece is rounded and smooth on the edges. So again, I give Cimarron a lot of credit for just keeping these horses nice and safe and thinking about them. So I mentioned our roof vents. So you're gonna notice them up here. These are 2 ways, so we can open and grab air down or release. So you have a lot of flexibility there. But when we tie in with the drop windows, the roof vents, all these bus window even on the back, what we do is we finish it off with this roof. This is standard on every single Cimarron. It's an insulated roof. It's got an R3 thermal value. It's a 1/2 inch thick. It's reinforced. It's a honeycomb design, so it's really strong. It takes 150 pounds per square foot. It takes substantial hail. Not to say hail can't dent it, but we've had hailstorms here where the Cimarrons have gotten away with no damage, where everything else with aluminum sheeted roofs had damage on them. What's more important and ties into all this airflow is it keeps the stall area about 20% cooler than your aluminum sheeted roofs. It makes a big difference when you're traveling in the summer months, keeping horses nice and cool and nice and comfortable. You know, maybe you want to add stall fans, we can do that. So again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of stuff that we can do after the fact on these Cimarrons through our parts and service department. We have the D-rings for corner feeders. We can add those for you. Then when we flip down to the floor, so we've talked about that ceiling being standard, but what we've got is we have rubber mats in here. If you want to upgrade to like a worm flooring, we can do that. But what's really important about this floor is it's the strongest floor in the market. It's the best one out there offered. It's a 12-inch deck piece that locks in high and low, so tongue and groove. But more importantly, it's 4-inch centers. So you have a V-truss in the middle, but those points are 4 inches apart. So imagine hoof size of a horse. Wherever they're standing on a support beam. That's where the strength of this trailer really starts off, a good foundation. Just like if you're building a house, you know, let's start off somewhere nice and solid and then go up from there, and that's what they've done. So again, best floor on the market there you're looking at. Again, really easy to operate everything in here. And then you're also going to end up with some LED lights up in the top rail. So plenty of light coverage in here and outside, like I was showing you. These guys here are the Optibrights. They put out a ton of light. This was something we would always put on our inventory pending availability on products. But this then became standard about a year ago from Cimarron. It's the only way to go in our opinion. I mean, these guys they put out a lot of light, not a big power draw. Definitely nice there. Across the opening, you're gonna have a butt strap rather than a bar. That's one large piece of metal that we'd have to go across that opening. We don't want to do that. We want to go with the strap, a little bit safer for you, safer for the horses as well. There's an 8-inch load light at the back here. So again, you've got them on the sides, inside, and at the back. You're gonna notice on that top rail, and I'll shut these doors as well so you can see it, but in these back tail lights, you're gonna actually have a built-in backup light as well. So we were putting a lot of backup lights on our inventory, and then Cimarron came up with this version here and just made it standard on the 25 models. And it's so cool. I'm so glad they did that, because we always get places in the dark or unfamiliar in the dark. We don't really know where we're backing up, and our vehicle backup lights are usually blocked by the front of the trailer and really not a lot, you know, not very useful. For these guys here, that kind of white X kind of shape there will actually indicate when you throw it in reverse so you can see kind of where you're going. And then all these lights are on individual switches as well. So we can turn on and off these exterior lights, interior lights. There's the other one. There's a 16-inch on this side. So you've got those on each side. You got one at the rear and then the interior. So again, plenty of light coverage throughout the trailer. And then this gives you a good look at the drop windows on head side. The difference is over here, you're gonna have the jail bars. So it's just in a track. You can just lift this guy up, set it down. That way you can, you know, maybe need to put some extra feed in there, from some water, anything like that. But as you can see, really easy to operate there. And then you've got your escape door. So there's your access. So again, like I was saying, maybe you want to use that first stall for storage. This is a great way to access everything if need be, without unloading horses or anything like that. And if you just got some stuff in there, maybe it's a cooler with a drink and you stop to fuel up and you can grab that. But also within it is going to be a drop window as well. Now this drop window is going to be a little bit smaller than the last two, but that's just because of the door framing itself. But you have the exact same style drop window that we just saw, and the jail bars on it as well. Welded hinges with grease zerks. These are incorporated throughout the trailer. They have a brass rod in the middle. That's what you kind of see right there. And it's actually got a groove cut into it. So when you open and close these doors, that grease is going to want to feed throughout the entire hinge itself. So a little bit easier to maintain for you. Everything's key to like. Just a really good setup. So it's got two 5,200 pound Dexter rubber torsion axles, you know, electric brakes on it. So again, our tow vehicle is either going to have an integrated brake controller or an aftermarket in order to operate the brakes, but that's something that we can help you out too. If you need that aftermarket aspect of it, you know, we can help you out there. So that about covers it on this guy. Again, what a nice little runaround 3-horse for you. Again, we've got the same version of it with just bus windows on hip side, but I'm going to give you the stock number for reference on it. Again, it's a 2025 Cimarron Norstar 3-horse bumper pole. Stock number is 5N240987. We do take trade-ins, whether you're looking to upgrade, downsize, we can help you there. Financing is available and delivery is an option, so we could potentially bring this directly to you. So give us a call. Anybody on the sales team can help you out. That number is 303-684-3400. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good day.